different types of people in this world, and one thing that we're all going to deal with is like difficulties in our task, trying to become successful. As good as things get, you got to have the same amount of bad that's going to try to impede your progress, whether it be people, whether it be the IRS, whether it be whatever. Something will rear its ugly head and try to block you. Now, a lot of people can't handle that shit. When you have a vision and something or someone throws a curveball, it hurts. It stings, right? It's like your baby, and now I can't put my baby out there like I want to do it. So it really throws people off. They get really negative. They may get depressed. They may want to stop. They may want to just go back to their 9 to 5. That's fine. It's not for everybody to push through. But for those who can push through, like he said, the difference between those who really succeed and those who don't are the ones who, when they're faced with whatever these difficulties are, they're like, I'm going to keep pushing through. I'm going to keep pushing through because it sounds corny and cliche, but it's always sunshine after the rain. You know what I'm saying? Rain don't last that long. You got to know that, be aware of that. That's something you can take with you through everything in life. But in business, you cannot stop because things are not going right at the time because it's going to happen. I've dealt with it. I'm sure I'll deal with it again at some point.
So anyway, I always made sure I was the best in the best shape. When people were in the gym, they saw how serious I was with my clients. They also saw how hard I was training on my own. So it was not hard for me to get clients. Now, when I decided to leave the gym and go independent, this was already a goal of mine. I've written out all of my goals. Writing goals are very important. It's very important. I wrote my goals out, and I think it was like 10 of them. And then a year later, maybe 2 years later, I went back to that book, and I swear to you, everything I've written out, I hit it without even thinking about it. It's something powerful about writing your goals.
As a trainer, I worked my ass off. I had the worst hours starting out, 5 in the morning, and I closed the gym. It's funny that I'm thinking about this now because the end of my training career, I had the same hours. And I was a successful trainer at the end. But anyway, I have a break in the middle of the day, but I'm working all the hours trying to generate business. So when I established a very solid clientele base, a core group of people, a lot of them, and I was very, very, very dedicated to them. I would get, all you need is one certification. I got 3, you know what I mean? Always trying to better myself, just reading, studying, and always trying to be the example as well, making sure I'll never have somebody come in my gym that's in better shape than me. That was my mind state. When I expand, and this is anything in my life, I always have a lot. When you see me, you see a lot of people. I always have a lot of responsibility, and I've always had a lot of responsibility. I'm not comfortable without a lot of responsibility. Some people, it spreads them thin, but I just grow more. There's more of me now. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to take on more things, tackle more things. I'm strong enough to do it, in every sense of the word. And I truly believe, I just know it is what it is.
And my mentality is like, I have I don't lose mentality. And that's with anything. That's not just like, say, a sporting event or whatever. That's just life, right? Because life is nonstop tests, you know what I mean? And we're always being put to the test. There's always challenges, obstacles, etc. And I literally don't accept any of that as an impediment, as a negative. It's like, good, this is gonna make me stronger. I'm gonna learn something from this. You don't have no life, especially when you're a successful personal trainer. It's hard to take a vacation because you take a break, you don't train anybody for that week. That's a week further that you're gonna get paid. It's just any trainers out there, y'all know what I'm talking about, but it is a good job. It is very rewarding. You do learn a lot of leadership skills. And if you gotta take it serious though, but it was very nerve-wracking, very scary to step out and try to do things on my own. But you know what? It was the best business decision that I ever made, and I'm glad I did it. I'm a risk taker. You gotta be willing to take those risks. You gotta bet it all on yourself and believe in yourself, and you'll be all right. And listen, y'all, you like when you take that risk, when you step out there and step away from that safe 9 to 5, you have to. And I didn't rely on nobody, family, friends, nobody. I just had me. You have to survive. You have to make it.
You in deep water, you either drown or you swim. It's up to you.
I was living fast for a while, man. Like, I've always been a very, like I always had a lot of force behind in everything I do. I was always successful with whatever I did. So
maybe like adventurous kind of like.
I had a period. Well, I was never scared to take risks.
Right.
So I had a period when I was taking the wrong kind of risks, you know, and my
life. What do you
lifestyle
think kind of led to that? Like what? Like just kind of hanging around the wrong dudes, the wrong people.
You know what? It's just being stupid, man. Just
like being young and just
being young and stupid.
Because thinking you're cool, thinking you're tough.
I was raised in a really good family. My father was a very intelligent person.
Yeah.
Like, I refer to his quotes and wisdom all the time.
Yeah.
So I was raised.
Same here with my pops. Yeah.
But I just got to a point, man. Yeah, I guess the people who was around me, I had a bunch of parasites and leeches around me, and you know, I liked it for whatever weird reason. You know what I'm saying? And I
some people are attracted to that kind of thing. Yeah.
So, but I learned my lesson and I corrected my ways. I had to go through a lot, like being homeless type shit. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And almost losing my freedom. And, you know, I went through a lot and I kept my head up. I persevered. I didn't lay down to my problems. I handled them. I faced it and came out just so much better.
Right.
I got so much to give people now because I did go through
a lot of it makes sense now that I'm hearing you saying it because the way that you talk is kind of stern and straight to the point.
Right.
And so it's like, wow, the guy kind of speaks powerfully, but it's because you've been through it.
Yeah, exactly.
You dug yourself up, you grabbed yourself by the bootstraps and were able to persevere.
I got taken to deep waters and swam back. I've had other people in deep waters, I swam out there and brought them back.
Right.
Numerous times. So I've been through a lot, and I feel like that makes me so strong.
I got to a point, it was like a crossroads where I was like, lay down and die and be a loser. And my kids look at me in disgust, or do something with my life. So I did something with my life. So I wrote out a plan. This is something that you gotta do. You gotta take serious. There's a saying, I don't know who said it, but I heard it from Nas. It says, people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. So basically, everything is a process, right? So if you or I want $1 million, we can go get $1 million. It's no different than making a sandwich. You hungry, you make a sandwich, what do? You get up, you walk to the kitchen, you get your bread out, you go through a process. It's the same thing with becoming successful in whatever you want to do. So, or whatever your goal is. You figure out what that process is, you do your research, you ask people, and then you make a plan, you write it out. Confident people get a lot further in life than people that are not confident. It is what it is, because a confident person will step out on his own faith and try to do things outside of the norm. You know, a confident person will take chances that a non-confident person won't. You know, I'm not saying be arrogant. I'm not saying be an asshole. None of that, because I don't like people like that. You know, but being confident is nothing wrong with that. You know, I got a sports background. Most of y'all do too. You know, I used to box. I'm gonna go in the ring confident as to let this guy know that I'm trying to knock his head off. You know what I'm saying? I want him to know or think in his mind that I know for a fact that I'm gonna knock his head off. You know what I mean? That little mental intimidation is gonna go a long way in that particular fight, in that boxing match, you know? And that's life. Life is a game. Life is a chess match. You gotta go into it confidently. You can't be timid all the time, you know? I'm not saying just leap out of the frying pan into the fire in every situation. You got to be smart and calculative. However, if you don't have that confidence, you know, it's some wolves out there. They'll tear you apart. It's dog eat dog sometimes, you know? And people, just like animals, humans can smell fear. They can see a timid person. A lot of people don't want to go into business with a timid person. A lot of people can't trust a timid person. A lot of people don't want a timid person to have their back. They don't want to be a team with that person.
I lift pretty much 5 days a week. I lift probably about, my sessions, sometimes it could be 30 minutes, sometimes it's 90 minutes. So it varies. And also, guys, you know, I've been lifting since I was a young guy. Like, I think I started actually lifting weights when I was 12 years old. We had those concrete weights with the plastic that covers it, and you know, the sun kind of cracks the plastic, and every time you do a curl, a chunk of cement falls out, so the weight's in balance. One thing I can say about my lifting regimen is I am very consistent. I can't think of a time in my life that I haven't been training. And that's every group of friends I've ever had, I'm the ringleader when it comes to training. Like, everybody's training because I'm around. So I've been lifting forever.
I'm thinking about making the hardest thing look easy. So if you ever around me when I train, a lot of times I'm psyching myself up. I'm like, this is easy. This is easy. This is a warm up. Give me more weight. I say that to myself and I believe it, you know? Anything you put in your subconscious mind, it becomes a reality. So I tell myself constantly, this is easy, no matter what the task is. Now, you take that, it's bigger than the gym, okay? This is a direct parallel to life, to everyday situations, whether it be work, school, relationships, facing a conflict, okay? When you consciously put yourself through a difficult task, say like a really difficult workout in the gym, when it's something positive for you, you constantly put yourself through that, you will be able to, like outside the gym, handle any situation because you develop that mental toughness. It's way more than physical, and that's what I try to get across. My training, the way I train, is I want to be physically fit, I want to be strong, I want to be healthy, I want to look good, but also I want a strong mind, okay? And I tell people all the time, train your mind as hard as you train your body.